Alright, so this is the old air filter that was on there. It's like K&N style air filter, so we just eliminated that. This is, you can see how much this is the rubber boot for the parking brake. You can see how much more it's stuck up. So I basically cut it off, you know, right where this level is. Get rid of all that extra stuff up there. We did the ignition switch. This was the key that was in there. And just jammed something in there, so. The old rear sprocket, this thing was definitely bent. I mean, you can feel it bent there. The old rotor, this was bent as well, and it's pretty chewed up there on top. Looks like it hit a rock, boulder I should say, but this one was bent as well. Opted to change that as well. Here's the chain. This is a non-O-ring chain, and this thing was just shot, so we changed that as well. New grips. This is the front sprocket. It's still pretty decent, but you know, you can see it's kind of getting to that worn out part, you know, like the teeth are kind of leaning forward a little bit, so we just changed that. Anyway, new water pump, new exhaust gasket. We did the valve stem seals, 4 of those in there. Those are the old ones. Let's see, we did 2 new 4 valves. 4 new valves, intake and exhaust. These are the old ones. There's the new rings. These are the old rings. New rear brake pads. There was nothing left of these. I mean, this one was pretty much metal to metal there. This one still had a little bit of pad on there, but not much. It was pretty worn unevenly. And then, like I said, this one's not much left on there. I did do new timing chain, so we put that in there. And then all new head gaskets, oil gaskets, new water pump gasket, and then it's just a master link in there. So yeah, I got a pile of crap right here. So that's all the parts that we changed. Alright, I got her all finished up. I did go ahead and do a decal kit. I decided to put some Nerf bars, a 6-pack rack on there. We did put an LED light bar on as well, along with this AC front bumper. So, it's turned out good. Just kidding. Here's the bike we've been working on. So, I got her all cleaned up for the most part, all buttoned up. I'm still waiting on a couple items. And so we did do in the engine, we did the valves, the piston rings, adjusted the valve stem seals, all new gasket set for the top end, the clutch cover, water pump, oil change. And I did go ahead and repaint the foot brake lever, the foot rests. I did touch up the frame here. I stopped it up there and then painted all the way down to right about where this weld is for the footrest and just blended it in, but pretty damn good color match for just buying some paint on Amazon, some Duplicolor I believe it was. I'll show you the bottle here in a second. See if I can find it. So if you guys need some paint for these kind of metallic-y dark gray frames, this Colorite, I got this on Amazon, and it's the Suzuki metallic flint gray, and it's pretty good stuff. It's kind of pricey, but I don't know if you're gonna be able to find anything that matches any closer than this. So I'll show you some before and afters of, you know, what this looked like before and then after I painted it. So, I mean, you can't even tell that it's a, not a Suzuki, painted frame. That's all stock factory, and then this is all been painted up. So, the heel guards that were on here were pretty trash. They're broken, so I just opted to cut the bracket off here, and then cut the one that goes down there off. And I'll show you what that looked like on mine. So basically, I just cut it off here and there, and just scrap the rest. That way, the fender's got something to be supported by. I see a lot of guys don't have these, and then, the plastic starts melting on the exhaust and it's flapping in the wind. But I did clean up this fender really good, magic eraser. I did get the paint off with that citrus strip. So this one I just cleaned up really well, just to see how it would turn out. And it came out pretty good. Can't complain. I mean, there are scratches, scuffs in the plastics, but I mean, it's nothing I can really deal with. Decal Kit will cover that up if the next buyer wants to buy one of those. So we did end up getting the wheels put on, tires put on. That was the black wheel in the backs. I did polish those out. This side came out better than the other side. I'll probably have to do the other side one more time, but for what it was, it came out pretty clean. So the front ones, I did get a hold of that kid that had the 2 Suzuki wheels, and I purchased those from him for $50 for the 2 of them. And what else? I did have these skid plates laying around. These are off Amazon. I have this swing arm skid plate and then the belly skid plate, which I haven't put on yet. And I didn't really care for them, just due to the fact that we have a lot of river rock here where I ride, and these things took a beating pretty quickly. Started bending up, so I opted to go back to the stock plastic one and just buy a new one. So it does, slide over the rocks, as opposed to these aluminum ones that just, grip it and stop you. So I just put that on here for some protection, because the other plastic skid plate that was on here was just trashed. There wasn't much left of it. I did have to put a new rotor on. The other one was bent. The caliper I did have to replace. This bolt here, that goes into this bracket, and the bracket goes from here to the other bolt and then down to the bottom bolt. And I had a hard time getting this bolt out when I took this apart, and for some reason it stripped this plate out, and this bolt, is supposed to slide in there a little bit, and it was pretty seized up. So last minute I just ordered a caliper. It did come with the brake pads, and the rotor actually came with the brake pads as well, so I got an extra set of brake pads now. But yeah, so we did that. And then I did have the caliper came with the parking brake delete cap for it, so we went ahead and deleted the complete parking brake cable, and I chopped up the lever up top. I'll show you that when I get up to the top there. What else? I am waiting on one more bracket here for this side. It should be in by the end of the week. This chain was off my bike a while ago. I had changed my chain. There's nothing wrong with this chain. I just changed mine because I didn't know how old this chain was. So I like peace of mind. I like to, take note of when I change stuff and do stuff, so that way I know. So I put a new chain on there, and I did change my sprocket sizes. So I went from, this one was a 41, and I went up a tooth to a 42 on mine. And then I did change the front sprocket on this as well. I had replaced mine. This one's a 13. I went up to a 14 on mine. So those were just items I had sitting in my parts bin. I always try to keep parts that are still good and, not trashed, and are still usable, just for, reasons like this. Or if mine broke a chain, I'd have something to use in the meantime, so I got a new one. But yeah, but back to the tires. So we did have the tires put on, mounted up by discount. I did go with the Mass FX tires, and they look pretty good. They are 4-ply tire, so unfortunately I won't be able to compare these to the Sun F tires because I won't have this bike. And I will ride it for a little while until I sell it, but I usually like to clean them up real good and just leave them clean. So we did the we did the sprockets front and back, and we did do the chain. I did buy a new case saver. This had that plastic cover on there with that cheap metal case saver that comes behind it. So I'm not a big fan of those, so I just bought a case saver and we just did it that way. And I did touch up this side of the frame. I touched up from the weld there kind of up to the top here, and I did touch up from like this weld to these welds up here where the VIN number is. He had put a new carb on there. Seems all right for now. I am getting a rich condition. It's kind of sputtering at the top end. Spark plug was all black. So I do need this vent hose here for the carburetor, and the tube that goes into the air box there. So right there, and it comes up. So I'll wait till I get that to adjust the air fuel ratio on this thing, just due to the fact that it might be getting too much air at this point. I did put a new fuel line, new petcock. I am waiting on a bolt for the lower reservoir tank, and I am missing one screw for the bolt for the gas tank. I got that on order, and then the 2 pads that go right here for the seat. I do have a new seat cover coming if the guy ever ships it. Kind of one of those lame eBay guys. Did put a new battery in. Just went back to the old style factory air cleaner with the cage. Didn't run out of bolts here. I thought I had them, but apparently I didn't, so I just used some fender bolts that were extra. They still work, still serve its purpose. I would have ordered them if I realized I didn't have them. And we did some new grips, and here's the brake lever. The parking brake was up here, and it kind of came up. It had another cable going in, and a little button and the lock that would lock into here, so when you squeezed it, it would hold it closed. So I just took a not a grinding wheel, but a cut off disc, and just cut it off this way, and then chopped it down and ground it smooth and painted her black. So that's how you can get rid of all that easily. We did get rid of the instrument cluster that was up here because it was broken, it was cracked. And we did go ahead and move the gauges down here. And we put the new ignition switch right here. So we got all that there. And what else did we do? I buffed out the lights. So they look a lot cleaner now. They were pretty hazy. And almost like sun faded a little bit. But used some Mother's Mag and wheel polish on that. I've been using that on a lot of the bikes on the headlights, and it works pretty good. We repainted the bumper. It's got a couple of dings in it, but it looks a lot better than it did. And still working on the plastics a little bit. I mean, there's a pretty big gouge up here, but not much I can do with that. So this is where we stand with this bike. These parts should hopefully be in this by the end of this week, and hoping to ride it around for a little while, probably for a week, and then probably the week after Thanksgiving weekend I'll post it up for sale and try to get rid of this thing, see how much we can get for it. The market seems kind of stagnant right now. There's a lot of these bikes posted for sale, but they're asking quite a bit of money. So they're all at 35, 38, 4,000, 4,500, 4,800 I've seen. So I'll just come in below all them, and hopefully we can get rid of this thing and make some profit. And I'll post up what we bought it for and what we got invested into it. I did buy a bunch of tools too, so I'll count those towards the purchase of this bike, just because I had to use them on this bike. I mean, I bought this bike pretty low, so I'm comfortable throwing that in as part of the budget. So, but those will be staying here. So, yeah, I mean, she runs good, except for the rich condition. But we'll get that all figured out, taken care of, and get this thing back on the road, or dirt, I should say. Like I said, I do have a seat cover coming. This thing's pretty, you know, I don't mind the cover itself. I just don't like these white stripes, and they're pretty dry rotted. But the guy that I ordered the seat cover from is, I don't know, I probably should have read his reviews, you know, good, bad, neutral on eBay before I decided to order his, because it says it'll be here Friday and the guy hasn't even shipped it out. I did message him yesterday and he said he'll try to get it out, and it's like, I don't know, like a lot of people complain that they're not getting their stuff, and he's all saying that they got their stuff, talk to the mailman, whatever, and just kind of some rude responses. So I'm not sure about this guy. So unfortunately, I have to wait till the date that it's supposed to be delivered before I can file a claim with eBay if I don't get it, and we'll see what happens. I mean, it says it'll be here by Friday, and that's the delivery date. So it does send it first class mail, so I think it is coming out of Texas, I want to say, and I'm not sure how many days that'll take. But I mean, Thursday's a holiday, so it's not like mail's gonna be moving, but we shall see.